Alright, what's up guys? NinjaDeathStrike here, bringing you another Pokemon Showdown battle. I do have a new team to debut today. It's still in UU. I haven't ventured out of that too much. I've played around in some of the other tiers, but I'm still mostly playing UU till I get the hang of it. So, this team originated just because I wanted to use two of my favorite guys, Umbreon and Chandelure. So I put them on a team and then built the rest of the team around it. It was kind of what you saw in I think the last video I put up. That's kind of what evolved into this team. So not too many familiar faces, but those two are still here. And we've got some help for them. So my opponent has, I guess, some standardish guys and some not so much. You don't see Electivire very often because he's kind of bad. But as far as threats go on his team, Heracross is always scary. Usually their choice though, so I need to figure out what he's doing. Chandelure, pretty threatening as well, but Umbreon handles him fairly easily. And Ambipom can be trouble if I don't have Hitmontop around to intimidate him. But if I can keep him intimidated, then I shouldn't have too much trouble. So let's go ahead and get into the match. My opponent is going to lead with the Ambipom, which I figured he would, so I go ahead and start with DJ Roomba, the Hitmontop, get that Intimidate. I know he's not going to want to stay in and waste time, so I go for a Toxic. Pretty much satisfied to hit whatever comes in. He brings Swampert in, which is great. That's probably actually the best thing I could have Toxic. And we exchange Stealth Rocks here as he starts setting off Curses, which is, alright, you're toxic, then it's the beginning of the match, but I guess you can do that if you want. I am just going to roar him out. Bring in Electivire, who has a balloon. I'm going to stay in for a turn just so that I can Scald, pop the balloon, and now I know he's going to switch out, but I really don't care. Earthquake hits everything on his team, so I'm perfectly satisfied to stay in and go for another one. Umbreon comes in, takes the Earthquake fairly well, I guess, and he actually is going to go for Toxic here and miss, and then I am going to go for Toxic as he protects. I'm actually fine with that. It would have been a bad idea to Toxic Umbreon because it does tend to have Heal Bell. So instead I just go for the Rapid Spin, get the rocks off of my side of the field, and then switch into Thunderhead the Raikou now that I know he is probably going to want to pass that Wish. Unfortunately, he passes it to Electivire. Can't do a whole lot against him. Can't Volt Switch out, so I'm just going to switch back into Hitmontop, get the Intimidate, and then nail this Umbreon with a close combat as he switches it in. I have no idea why he did that. I don't know what he was predicting there, but he did not predict well. So I go for a close combat again, just in case. I don't know what Umbreon wants to do, but it's worth going for the close combats just in case he stays in. He does eventually switch into Chandelure, which is fairly predictable, but Whisper should be able to handle it with no problem. I do get the special defense drop here, but the fact that he switches out tells me that he's almost definitely choiced, which means he's probably got two choice guys. He's got Heracross and Chandelure. It's unlikely that they're both Scarfed, although I guess they could be, so that Heracross is probably banded. There's really no way to be sure. Again, the fact that he does switch out confirms that he's choiced, though. He brings in Swampert, who I'm able to catch off guard with an Energy Ball and just obliterate. His own Chandelure comes back in, and yeah, Whisper's just going to take that no problem. Go for the foul play. I don't care what I hit. I just want to get damage and actually take out his Umbreon that way. Here I get tricked a Choice Scarf, which is actually fine. I don't feel like I need Umbreon to do that much. These foul plays are honestly doing enough damage to the point where it's almost worth having the Scarf. So Ambipom comes back in, just going to go into DJ Roomba, the Hitmontop, intimidate him, and now that Chandelure is dead, close combat is going to do some work. Heracross comes in. I know that it's choice, so I know he has to attack me, and after the close combat, Sucker Punch is easily going to be enough to take him down. So at this point, I have the match won, but I hadn't actually gotten a 6-0 yet, so I decided I may as well try for that. Switch in Candlejack to Ambipom because I don't really think it can hurt me. Take it out with a Fire Blast, and at this point I'm not sure if Fire Blast will kill Electivire, so I just play it safe, go into DJ Roomba, get the Intimidate, and then go into Buddy the Swampert to absorb the Earthquakes since they're not going to do anything. And that is going to be my first 6-0 since I've come back. Or the first one that's actually gone to the finish. So that was why I decided to put it up. I mean, it was a decent match, even though it was a 6-0. It was pretty action-packed, but this next match is going to be much closer. I am at the top this time because Showdown Replay decided to put me up there, so you get to look at my guys' faces instead of their butts for this match. And my opponent is down here on the bottom. So again, he has a hair cross. That's pretty threatening. The Zapdos is pretty threatening as well. My team does not have a good way to take that down. I'm just going to have to whittle it down slowly. And, you know, Sigilif can kind of be annoying if it gets set up, but I do have Whisper, the Umbreon, and Candlejack the Chandelure, so he shouldn't get a chance to set up. So let's go ahead and get things started. He's going to lead with Azelf. I kind of figured he would, so I lead with Thunderhead the Raikou. He goes for Trick right off the bat. I guess he thought I was a Calm Mind set, but he just gives me a Scarf instead of Specs, which is whatever. You can work with it. And then I ended up taking him out with a crit on the first turn. I go into Buddy and get obliterated by Zapdos, so I did not expect the Life Orb variant, and I lose my Swampert. So we both lose our Stealth Rockers on turn 1 and 2, which means this match is going to be maybe a little slower, just because we were both going to be free to switch however we want for the duration of the game. Snorlax is in. I'm not too worried about it, honestly. I've got ways to deal with it. I do go for the Toxic here to try and put it on a clock, but Sigilif comes in. It's annoying, I know. So I go into Candlejack. Psycho Shift doesn't affect Candlejack that much. He doesn't normally stay in for too many turns in a row, so he doesn't mind being toxic. And I go for the Fire Blast here over the Shadow Ball just because I know he has a Snorlax. And even if he had stayed in, I'm fairly certain Fire Blast would have done a solid chunk of damage. So I get a good hit on the Snorlax here, and then bring in DJ Roomba to threaten it out. I go for the close combat. I didn't really have anything else I wanted to do. May as well just get some damage while I can. Sigilif is going to try and set up, but Thunderhead the Raikou is not going to have that even after +1. Thunderbolt does a ton of damage. And I just keep going for it. I know Snorlax is probably going to come in, but again, damage is damage. I'm fine getting some free damage here. And he actually blows up his Snorlax after the Intimidate. It doesn't do that much to DJ Roomba. Sigilif comes in here, gets a free Roost, but again, Sigilif, my team does not care about Sigilif. I've got 3 things to deal with it, and now that Snorlax is dead, I'm free to just go for the Shadow Ball and guarantee the kill. Azumarill's in here. I go to Whisper because I kind of wanted to preserve the health of DJ Roomba, but I completely missed the fact that he is Life Orbed and not choiced, and so I ended up getting wrecked by a Life Orb superpower, which kind of sucks. But now that his defenses are lowered, I'm free to go into Watcher the Xatu and do some damage. Unfortunately, Zapdos comes in, he gets a Roost off, and yeah, I'm kind of stuck, so I have to switch out into Raikou, and because it's Life Orbed, I'm eventually able to wear it down, and then at that point I know that a Fire Blast from Candlejack will take it out. Azumarill here does a freaking ton of damage with Waterfall. There was nothing I could do to avoid it. I mean, he had it for sure. So I had to just sacrifice Watcher. He's going to get some free damage in here with the Raikou, with the Aqua Jet as I go into Raikou, but I'm able to Volt Switch out and take him out. So here, it comes down to Heracross versus Candlejack. It turns out he is faster, so maybe he's Jolly Scarfed. I am Modest Scarfed, so that could have been the issue, but he actually misses his second Stone Edge here, and that's going to allow me to win the game. That's kind of huge. Had he hit that Stone Edge, I'm not sure if I would have survived or not. It would have been close. I don't know. I kind of think he was Jolly because I think either that or he won a speed tie. I'm not sure how fast Heracross is. I don't know anything speed, so anyhow, it would have been interesting had he hit it to see if I lived or not, but in the end he missed. Sometimes it happens, and that is going to be the game. So thanks for watching, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Check out all the links in the description, and leave me a comment if you want to do that. I will have more coming your way shortly. Thanks.